Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick video on cutting a box down. This box came in today with something small in it, and it ended up costing, it was light, but it ended up costing almost $105 because the box was so big. And I know a lot of times people don't have time or they're not familiar with shipping. I've been shipping for like 20 years or whatever, and it doesn't make me a professional or anything, but I have learned ways to cut some costs. So if you're going to ship, let's just say you're shipping something small like this box here, there's no need in having all this extra. The Postal Service will charge you what, it's kind of like a dimensional weight. So even though the box might have only weighed 2 pounds, if you go over, then they're going to charge you like it's 80 pounds or something. So the best thing to do to start out with cutting a box down is just kind of make a mark where you've got some room. So let's make a mark there and get this out of the way. Now, when you get done cutting, you're going to want a flap, you know, some end flaps and stuff. So what we need to do here is we leave extra, you know, just a little bit extra so that we can fold that in. So what I'm going to do is close that up. And I'm going to take a good sharp X-Acto knife and run across the top and go down the side. Alright, now once I do that, this part here is pretty much junk anyway, so let's, oh shit, it's all taped anyway, I forgot about that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the garbage part that I don't need. Alright, so I'm leaving this extra flap here for fold over. So what I'm going to need to do here is come out, and about the depth of this knife is the thickness of the box. So we're going to come over here and cut some more off. Alright, now we got that out of the way. So now we have our flaps. So let's go ahead and take off this piece here. This may not make sense to most people, but I've been doing this for quite a while now. Now, on the outside of the box, what you need to do is where you're wanting to fold it, you just gently scribe onto the box just a little bit. You don't want to go all the way through. And what that allows is for this part to fold nicely, and gives you a fairly nice corner. So now, as you can see, I'm still a little tall here, so I'm going to trim some of that off. I'm just eyeballing it because we're doing a quick video here and I'm not trying to win a contest or anything. So now that you have your ends cut, what you'll do is you'd open it back up and you take these flaps and you tape them on the insides so that they hold up strong. So let me grab some tape. This is not brain surgery, so just about anyone should be able to trim a box down. Now the reason I'm saving all of this flap stuff that I keep talking about is it actually is stronger than if you just cut the end off and tape a piece onto the end. I have seen people do that. It sort of works. The problem is that you're relying on only tape at that point rather than the flaps of the box. I do this every morning, so I probably don't look too great doing it on video, but I'm just trying to do a quick show and tell here. So anyway, now you can see that huge box we had is now shorter. So now what you have is you have this instead of, you know, 4 or 5 foot long. So some people might want to keep a little bit more of your inner lip here and scribe it, and you could fold that over and that would be even better. But this should be, once you tape along your edges, should be a good strong box still. So I'm going to go ahead. This is why I use a lot of clear tape. But let me get it down here where you can see what I'm doing. It's harder to tape it, but I want you to be able to see where I'm coming from here. Alright, so you smooth the tape on there and you just make a nice corner. Do one more on this side. Probably can't see what I'm doing now, but it's just tape. It's kind of common sense, really. Anyway, now that's a nice tight corner. So now that you've got that, you can either take a piece of tape. You want to tape all of your seams. And another thing that you can do when you're boxing that makes a box stronger, a lot of people on a box like this, they would fold this down and they would run one piece of tape across the middle. But that still allows some movement. So I recommend taping over all of your seams when you can, and that will actually strengthen that lip so that if that middle tape ever was to come loose, you still have your ends taped. But anyway, that's the basics on cutting a box down. And now, of course, I could get the same stuff that was in this box will still fit. And I'd put some packing around it, you know, put bubble wrap around this or something. And then it would be ready to go out. So anyway, you got to watch for dimensional weight. And that's the biggest mistake most people make. They think this box doesn't weigh anything. It's only going to cost $10 to ship it. Then they get in there and they say 105 and you're like having a heart attack. So, you know, you hate to waste a bunch of money for no reason when you don't have to. So hopefully this helps get some people where they can trim a box down a little bit better. I probably could have done a little better than I did myself. But again, like I said, once you tape this, you should be in good shape. And, you know, a little extra tape on the outside of the box doesn't hurt anything. And then obviously boxes also have a crush strength on the bottom that tells you if it's good enough of a box. This is probably not really a real thick box, so what you would want to do is once you wrap these really good with bubble wrap or whatever and you put them in here, you might want to find, you know, stuff to take up space in here. The little bubble inflatable bubble stuff you could put in there. I can't remember what they call them. They're like little pillows. You could stuff those in here and just stuff it as tight as you can without smashing the product. And then when you close the lid, you know, just if you have to push it down just a little, that's okay, because when they stack another box on this, it's just going to be a cushion instead of smashing your items inside. And the other thing too that I see a lot is people, they just throw something in a box like this, and the whole way on its way to you, it's just slopping around in there, and you can cause a lot of damage doing that. So I call it the crash test dummy effect. Your item is on this end of the box, and when it lands, it pushes it down onto the end and smashes it down hard as it can. And anyway, if you pack it real good and tight, you won't have that. So anyway, just some basic tips. I know that it's not 100% Stomper related, but I wanted to put that out there because I see it a lot. And I see a lot of Stompers that are in, you know, huge boxes. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You want to take up some space, but a Stomper is small enough you could take the old the rolls from your tape. A Stomper will slip through here, so you can actually put that inside the box to keep it from getting smashed. There's guys that take 4-inch water pipe, the thinner stuff or whatever, and they trim that off with a chop saw, put a Stomper inside it. I've had people send them in bowls, all sorts of stuff. I've been fairly fortunate that I've shipped a lot of mine just in a box, but I'm starting to go priority mail a little bit more lately. Cost a little more, but if I'm shipping from the Midwest to California, and they ship first class by truck now, so by ground it takes forever. So if I just go ahead and go priority, then they fly it from St. Louis to the coast, and it shaves off a lot of time. Anyway, hopefully this helps, and I didn't bore you to death or look like a clown on here. But hope this helps, and until the next video, Stomper on.